Urgency is not something that most people welcome in their lives. When we feel urgency, it is often accompanied by stress, by pressure, by discomfort. Yet when you look deeply, urgency is not your enemy. Urgency is the messenger. It is the quiet whisper of life turning into a loud call. It is the universe telling you that time is not infinite, that every breath counts, that the decisions you make in this very moment will echo into your future. Many people waste their days waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect timing, the perfect circumstances before they act. But life is not a gentle teacher. Life pushes, life presses, life demands. That is why urgency arrives. It arrives to shake you, to move you out of complacency, to remind you that you cannot sleepwalk through existence. The one who sees urgency as a gift does not run away from pressure. Instead, they breathe it in and transform it into strength. Think about the greatest shifts of your life. Rarely did they happen in comfort. Rarely did they come while you were relaxed and unbothered. Change is born in the fire of urgency. It is when something feels like it cannot wait, when you feel cornered, when life gives you no other choice. That is when the human spirit reveals its true depth. Without urgency, we postpone. Without urgency, we delay. Without urgency, our potential stays locked away like a seed that is never placed into the soil. But when urgency strikes, the seed breaks, the shell cracks, and growth begins. This is why urgency must not be feared but embraced. It is the spark that ignites movement. The difference between those who rise and those who stay behind is not the absence of urgency, but how they respond to it. Two people can face the same pressing situation. One collapses under the weight, the other uses it to climb. The situation is the same, the urgency is the same, but the perception is different. To one, urgency feels like a curse. To the other, urgency is a gift. And here lies the secret. You cannot control when emergencies arrive, you cannot control when pressure finds you, but you can always choose how you respond. The mind that sees urgency as a chance will never be defeated. Imagine a person who treats every day as if there is no time to waste. They do not say, "Tomorrow I will begin." They do not say, "Someday I will try," because they understand that tomorrow is not guaranteed and someday is not on the calendar. Such a person carries urgency not as a burden, but as a compass. Urgency tells them act today, speak truth today, move forward today. And because they act today, life moves with them. Opportunities open, strength grows, and what others call luck is simply the result of aligned urgency with action. On the other hand, think of the one who waits endlessly. They say, "When things calm down, I will start. When the time is right, I will change." But life never calms down, and the perfect time never arrives. And so they wait and wait and wait until urgency becomes regret. This is the tragedy of many lives. Not that people lacked dreams, not that they lacked talent, but that they lacked the courage to see urgency as their ally. They misread the signal. When urgency knocked, they closed the door. They saw the discomfort, but not the opportunity inside it. Every emergency is a message. It says, wake up. It says, there is something that needs your attention right now. And if you keep ignoring it, life will keep knocking louder and louder until the lesson becomes unavoidable. Some people need small urgencies to change, others need storms, others need to lose almost everything before they understand the value of time. But why wait for such pain to wake you? If you understand now that urgency is a gift, you can awaken without destruction. Urgency strips away the unnecessary. When you feel pressed for time, you stop caring about meaningless details. You stop overthinking, you stop delaying, you stop entertaining distractions. Urgency forces you to focus on what matters most. This is why urgency is not chaos but clarity. It tells you these are your priorities, this is your direction, this is where your energy must flow. Without urgency, life is a haze of endless options and endless postponements. With urgency, the path becomes sharp and clear. You act not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Consider the warrior on the battlefield. If he hesitates, he is lost. If he delays, he is defeated. The pressure of urgency sharpens his mind, awakens his instincts, fuels his discipline. What is a battle for him is a day for you. Every day you are given choices that matter. Every day you are given situations where hesitation can cost you opportunities, where delay can cost you growth. Do not deceive yourself into thinking you have infinite chances. The reality is simple. You do not know how many breaths remain, how many days you are gifted. To waste them is the greatest mistake. To treat them with urgency is wisdom. Think of a student who waits until the last night to study for the exam. That urgency awakens a level of focus they never felt before. Suddenly distractions vanish. Suddenly clarity appears. Suddenly they can absorb knowledge with intensity. This shows you something profound. The capacity was always there, but it was urgency that unlocked it. The same applies to life. You are capable of more discipline, more creativity, more strength, more resilience than you currently show. But until urgency arrives, you remain asleep to your true power. That is why those who live with self-imposed urgency awaken their potential without waiting for crisis. They train as if the exam is today. They prepare as if the challenge is now. They live as if their time is running out. And because they do, their lives become extraordinary. To see urgency as a gift means to welcome it even when it feels uncomfortable. It means to understand that the pressure you feel is not punishment but preparation. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Steel is forged in fire. Your character is shaped in the moments when urgency pushes you beyond your comfort zone. Without these moments, you remain soft, untested, incomplete. But with urgency, you discover strength you never knew you had. And once you see this, you stop fearing pressure, you stop running from challenge, you stop resisting the call of urgency. Instead, you bow to it, you thank it, you use it. When you live this way, you no longer wait for someday. You understand that someday is not promised. You live as if today is the only day. And ironically, by living with this urgency, your life expands. You achieve more, you grow more. You live more fully in 1 year than most do in a lifetime. Because urgency is not about fear of running out of time. It is about love for the time you have. It is about respect for each moment, each opportunity, each chance to act. It is about refusing to waste what is precious. So when you face the 16th and 17th of September, do not treat them as ordinary days. Treat them as gifts of urgency. Treat them as reminders that life is short, that destiny is near, that decisions matter. Ask yourself, what have I postponed? What have I delayed? What has urgency been trying to show me? And then act. Not tomorrow, not later, now. Because urgency is not against you. Urgency is for you. It is life itself calling you to awaken, to move, to live fully. The wise do not curse urgency. The wise bow to it. The wise see urgency not as a storm that destroys, but as a wind that carries them forward. May you be wise enough to embrace it. May you be strong enough to act upon it. And may you be awake enough to see that urgency is, and always will be, one of the greatest gifts life offers you. The greatest illusion human beings fall into is the illusion of time. We think there is always more of it. We live as if tomorrow is guaranteed, as if we can delay our dreams, as if we can postpone what our hearts whisper today, and somehow return to it later when life is easier, calmer, more convenient. But life does not work like that. Time is the only thing you cannot negotiate with. Once a moment has passed, it is gone forever. And the tragedy of many lives is not that they lacked opportunity or talent or resources. The tragedy is that they kept waiting until it was too late. To act before it is too late is not a cliché, it is a law of life. Every day that you live unconsciously, you give away a piece of your destiny. Every time you say, later, you are gambling with something that cannot be replaced. Later becomes never. Tomorrow becomes regret. And what was once a possibility becomes a wound that whispers inside you, if only I had acted sooner. Think of a farmer who keeps saying he will plant seeds tomorrow. The soil is ready, the season is perfect, but he keeps delaying. He tells himself that the conditions will be even better later. But the rain does not wait. The seasons do not wait. And when the window closes, no matter how much he regrets, no harvest will come. Life works in the same way. Opportunities have a timing. Some doors open only for a short while. If you hesitate, if you delay, if you fail to act, they close. And once they close, no amount of wishing will reopen them. Look deeply into your own life. How many chances have already passed you by because you waited too long? How many times did you feel the call to move, to speak, to change, and you silenced it by saying, "Not today, maybe later"? Every person carries inside them a silent list of missed chances. Words we never said, risks we never took, dreams we never pursued. And when you reflect on them, you feel a sharp sting, because deep down you know those moments will never return. The person you could have been, the path you could have walked, the love you could have embraced, it is gone because you waited too long to act. But urgency teaches us a different way. It teaches us that life does not reward hesitation. Life rewards movement. The smallest action taken today carries more power than the greatest plan postponed endlessly. The future is not promised, but the present is in your hands. That is why you must act before it is too late. Not when conditions are perfect, but when your heart tells you it is time. Not when fear is gone, but even while fear remains. The one who acts while afraid is still braver than the one who waits forever for fear to disappear. Too many people spend their years preparing but never beginning. They convince themselves that more knowledge, more resources, more courage are needed before they can step forward. But preparation without action becomes paralysis. You do not need to be perfect to begin. You do not need all the answers to start. Action itself teaches you. Action itself builds you. The road is revealed step by step, but only to the one who dares to walk it. Those who stand still, waiting for clarity, never see the path because the path is created by movement. The reason people wait is often because of fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. But what they do not realize is that by not acting, they are already failing. By not speaking, they are already silencing themselves. By not trying, they are already rejecting the life that was meant for them. Fear pretends to protect you, but in truth, it steals your time. It tells you to wait, and in waiting, you lose the very life you are afraid of missing. Acting before it is too late is not only about grand dreams or big decisions. It is also about the small things that matter. Calling someone you love before distance becomes permanent. Saying thank you before the chance disappears. Asking for forgiveness before death or pride closes the door. These small acts may seem minor, but they hold the weight of eternity. Regret does not come only from missed opportunities in career or ambition. Some of the deepest regrets come from the simple acts of love and connection we postponed until there was no more time. The truth is that life will always test you with urgency. It will place you in situations where you must decide quickly, where hesitation could cost you something precious. And in those moments, you will see who you really are. Do you freeze, or do you move? Do you let fear control you, or do you act despite fear? Every act of courage you take strengthens you. Every delay weakens you. This is why the wise say, act before it is too late. History itself is filled with examples of those who acted in the moment and changed the course of destiny. A single decision made in urgency can alter generations. A single step forward when others held back can carve a new path. And yet, history is also filled with countless forgotten names of those who could have been great, but waited too long to rise. The choice between these two outcomes is always determined by action. When you understand the impermanence of life, action becomes natural. When you truly realize that every breath could be your last, procrastination loses its power over you. You no longer delay, because you no longer assume there will be more time. You begin to see every sunrise as an invitation to act, every conversation as a chance to speak truth, every opportunity as a fleeting moment that must be seized. This awareness does not create fear, it creates freedom. For when you no longer cling to later, you are free to live now. Act before it is too late, because time is not in your control. Too many people say, "I will take care of my health later," until illness arrives. They say, "I will pursue my dream later," until age has taken away their energy. They say, "I will spend more time with family later," until relationships dissolve or loved ones are gone. Life is fragile, and pretending otherwise does not make it secure. To delay is to gamble with what is most precious. To act is to honor the life you have been given. It is not about rushing through life recklessly. It is about living with awareness that each moment matters. The person who acts before it is too late does not waste time in endless distractions, in meaningless arguments, in mindless habits. They know that energy is finite, and they choose to invest it in what truly matters. This is not a frantic life, but a focused life. Urgency becomes discipline. Awareness becomes wisdom. The days of 16th and 17th of September, like all days, will pass quickly. You cannot hold them. You cannot slow them. You cannot replay them once they are gone. But you can live them fully. You can act within them. You can use them as a turning point. Imagine looking back a year from now and saying, "Those were the days I stopped delaying. Those were the days I acted. Those were the days I stepped into a new version of myself." Such days are remembered not because they were ordinary, but because you decided to make them extraordinary. So do not wait. Do not postpone your courage. Do not silence your voice. Act before it is too late. Begin now with what you have where you are. Because the truth is, tomorrow is not promised. The only guarantee you have is this moment, this choice, this breath. And what you do with it will decide whether you carry regret or fulfillment into the future. Life is not asking you for perfection. It is asking you for movement. It is asking you for courage. It is asking you to act before it is too late. And when you do, you will discover that the very act of stepping forward, even imperfectly, carries you further than endless hesitation ever could. So rise, move, speak, create, love, forgive, act. Do it now, not later. Do it today, not tomorrow, because time is always moving, and if you do not move with it, it will leave you behind. But if you act with it, if you flow with it, if you embrace it, you will find yourself living a life of depth, of meaning, of fulfillment. A life without regret. A life that whispers not, "Too late," but "Just in time." Power is often misunderstood. Many people believe that power is about force, about domination, about loudness, about controlling the outside world. They imagine power in the clenched fist, in the raised voice, in the one who demands and commands. But true power has never lived in noise. True power begins in silence. True strength is not the storm raging outside, but the stillness within. Inner calm creates outer power, because only the one who is calm inside can see clearly, act wisely, and remain unshaken when the world trembles. Life is filled with storms. There will be moments when everything around you feels uncertain, when chaos surrounds you, when people panic, when fear spreads like wildfire. In those moments, most people lose themselves. Their minds scatter, their emotions explode, their decisions become clouded. But the one who has cultivated inner calm is different. They stand in the center of the storm, and while everything shakes, they remain steady. Their calmness is their anchor, their clarity is their shield, their silence is their strength. And because they are calm, they are powerful. Think of water. When the surface is disturbed, you cannot see your reflection. But when the water is still, everything becomes visible. The mind is the same. If it is restless, you cannot see the truth. You cannot make wise decisions when your thoughts are chaotic, when your emotions are storming. But when the mind is calm, clarity appears. You see what others miss. You hear what others ignore. You understand what others cannot grasp. And in that clarity, you find power. The power to choose wisely, to act deliberately, to move without wasting energy. This is why calmness is not weakness. Calmness is mastery. Anyone can panic, anyone can shout, anyone can lose control when pressure comes. But it takes inner discipline to remain centered. It takes training to be calm when chaos is loud, and it is precisely this discipline that transforms you into someone unshakable. The warrior who rushes into battle with anger is easily defeated, but the warrior who enters with calm focus is unstoppable. Anger clouds judgment, calmness sharpens it. Fear weakens, calmness strengthens. The louder the world becomes, the more valuable your silence is. Inner calm does not mean inaction. It is not sitting passively while life moves without you. Inner calm is the ability to act without being controlled by fear, by anger, by anxiety. It is action rooted in awareness, in strength, in discipline. From calmness arises precision. From calmness arises timing. From calmness arises endurance. The archer who trembles cannot hit the target, but the one whose breath is steady, whose heart is calm, releases the arrow with perfect focus. So it is in life. Calmness gives birth to accuracy, and accuracy creates results. In emergencies, this truth becomes even more important. When urgency strikes, most people panic. They rush, they stumble, they waste their energy in fear. But the one who carries calmness within turns urgency into opportunity. They breathe deeply. They slow down inside even while moving quickly outside. They see paths that panic hides. They make choices that fear cannot touch. This is why calmness creates power. It allows you to see reality clearly while others are blinded by chaos. Calmness is not given, it is cultivated. It comes from daily practice, from discipline, from facing discomfort and learning not to react blindly. It comes from stillness, from breathing, from observing the mind without letting it control you. Many people think they will become calm when life becomes easier, but life does not become easier. Calmness must be built inside, regardless of outside circumstances. Only then will it serve you when you need it most. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, the wind howling, the drop terrifying. Your heart beats fast, your body trembles. In that moment, if you let panic control you, you will fall. But if you breathe, if you steady yourself, if you find calmness within, you can move carefully, step by step, until you are safe. The cliff is life, the wind is chaos, the drop is fear. Calmness is your balance. Without it, you stumble. With it, you survive and thrive. The greatest leaders in history, the ones who guided others through crisis, all shared this trait, inner calm. While others were shouting, they were listening. While others were rushing, they were watching. While others were breaking, they were steady. People follow those who are calm not because they are louder, but because calmness radiates trust. It tells others, even if the world is shaking, we will not fall, because I am not shaken. This is why calmness is the highest form of leadership. It inspires without force, it guides without demand, it strengthens without aggression. When you begin to cultivate inner calm, you will notice a change in your daily life. Small annoyances will no longer disturb you as easily. The noise of other people's opinions will no longer control your mood. You will begin to feel a quiet strength inside you, one that does not depend on circumstances. This is the beginning of true freedom, because power that depends on the outside is fragile. If your strength comes from possessions, what happens when they are taken? If your confidence comes from others' approval, what happens when they withdraw it? But power rooted in calmness cannot be stolen. It is within you, carried wherever you go, unshaken by what happens outside. Calmness also expands your vision. When the mind is restless, it sees only problems. But when the mind is calm, it sees solutions. When emotions explode, you react. When calmness is present, you respond. Reaction is blind, response is conscious. This difference shapes destiny. Two people can face the same challenge. One reacts with panic and falls. The other responds with calmness and rises. The situation is the same, but the outcome is determined by the inner state. In moments of urgency like the 16th and 17th of September, this lesson is vital. These are not ordinary days, they are tests. They will demand decisions, they will bring pressure, they will stir emotions. But if you carry calmness within you, those days will not crush you. Instead, they will reveal your strength. Others may panic, but you will breathe. Others may scatter, but you will focus. Others may tremble, but you will move with steady steps. And because of your calmness, you will turn challenge into victory. To cultivate calmness, you must learn to sit in silence. You must learn to breathe deeply, to watch your thoughts without chasing them, to feel your emotions without drowning in them. At first, the mind will resist. It will shout. It will wander. It will stir. But with patience, with practice, the storm inside begins to quiet. And as the inner storm calms, the outer storms lose their power over you. Life still brings challenges, but you no longer lose yourself in them. You carry your stillness wherever you go. Calmness is also humility. It is the recognition that you do not need to prove yourself loudly. You do not need to shout to be heard. You do not need to dominate to be strong. Calmness trusts itself. Calmness is rooted in knowing that true strength does not need to announce itself. It simply exists, quietly unshakable. When you are calm, you no longer need to control everything outside, because you have mastered what is inside. This is why inner calm creates outer power. The person who is calm commands respect without demanding it. They move with intention, they speak with weight, they act with clarity. Their presence itself becomes powerful because people can feel the stability within them. In a world where most are restless, the calm one stands out like a lighthouse in the storm. They do not move with every wave, they guide others through it. So as you approach the days ahead, do not only prepare your actions, prepare your calmness. Do not only strengthen your body, strengthen your mind. Do not only plan for the outer world, cultivate your inner world. Because in the end, it is not what happens outside that decides your fate, it is how steady you remain inside. And the one who remains calm, no matter the storm, will always find their way through. Inner calm is the highest form of strength. It is the seed of wisdom, the root of resilience, the foundation of true power. Without it, even the strongest body will crumble. With it, even the smallest step becomes unshakable. Cultivate it, carry it, protect it, and you will discover that calmness is not the absence of power, it is the source of it.